Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
And I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda and I thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30. Continued coverage and charges were dropped this morning for a Macon woman. Kimberlyn Beddington was arrested yesterday at the Wood Spring Suites on Bowman Road for trespass and theft of services, but it turns out she has tenant rights and was wrongfully arrested by Bibb County deputies. Georgia law says she's a resident and not a guest.
We first brought you this story on Wednesday, and Beddington was living at the extended stay hotel when staff couldn't locate her receipt of payment. Despite Beddington's proof, the hotel called law enforcement to have her removed. However, the NAACP got involved, helping to uphold Beddington's rights, urging Bibb County law enforcement to recognize her rights as well. Beddington was allowed back in the hotel today.
Bibb deputies are searching for the driver who ran over a man and just kept driving and left him to die. Deputies say it happened just before 8:30 last night on Riverside Drive. The 67-year-old victim, Freddie Evans, was standing in the center turn lane when a dark SUV fatally hit him. Deputies suspect the vehicle to be a Chevy Tahoe with damage to the front end. If you have any information, please call the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
State investigators are renewing calls for information in the mysterious disappearance of a Warner Robins man. Jesus Mancilla Velez's loved ones last saw him 3 years ago. Authorities found his vehicle abandoned near a wooded area off Highway 42 in Crawford County on September 5th, 2020. But since then, no one's heard nor seen him. The GBI encourages anyone with information to come forward. Tips can be made anonymously. We have the information on our website at WGXA.tv.
And this duo, accused of firing shots outside the Hummingbird Stage and Tap Room early Thursday morning, are now behind bars. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says 20-year-old Elijah Begley and 27-year-old Kaylee Woodall turned themselves in this morning. The two are facing aggravated assault charges for the incident on Cherry Street. Begley is also facing a charge for possession of a firearm during a felony. Tonight, that case remains under investigation.
A newly released report from a special grand jury in Fulton County shows the panel recommended criminal charges against 39 people, including Senator Lindsey Graham and 2 other former U.S. senators, for allegedly trying to help former President Donald Trump overturn the results of the 2020 election in the state.
The district attorney ultimately didn't pursue all the recommendations from this jury panel, which didn't have the authority to indict anyone, to charge 21 individuals. To charge 21 additional individuals. The DA used a second grand jury to indict the 19 individuals who are currently facing racketeering and other charges. Jay O'Brien breaks it all down.
A newly released full report shows a special grand jury in Georgia recommended Senator Lindsey Graham and Georgia's 2 former U.S. senators be criminally charged in connection with alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election results in that state. This initial special purpose grand jury, created to investigate efforts to subvert the 2020 election, but without the power to bring charges, recommended a total of 39 people, including former President Donald Trump and a host of allies, be indicted. That includes Graham, a Republican South Carolina senator and staunch Trump defender, along with former Georgia Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, who publicly criticized Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger during the vote count and called for his resignation. Raffensperger also accused Graham of calling the Republican state official and pressuring him to invalidate legally cast absentee ballots. Reacting to the new report, Graham saying he was just asking questions about the election in his official capacity as chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, adding, "I did my job," telling CNN at the time,
"I want to make sure that we're taking the precautions necessary to validate signatures like we do if you show up on election."
The special grand jury reported their findings to Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, who ultimately pursued charges with a second grand jury, not against 39 people, but 19, including Trump. The former president and his alleged co-conspirators now indicted on racketeering and other charges, accused of attempting to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. All have pleaded not guilty. Right now, these new revelations aren't expected to result in any new charges for Graham or others. That special grand jury report was unveiled Friday at the order of a Georgia judge. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Time for a check on the Skywatch weather forecast, and today it felt pretty good. There was a little bit of a wind.
Certainly did. We could feel that little bit of feel of fall. We were talking about it really early in the morning, couldn't we? And meteorologist Ryan Mirando says, though, tomorrow's another story to keep your eye on tomorrow. Ryan.
Exactly, Greg. Yeah, we're going to have some more active storms throughout the day. Tomorrow, right now, we do have a few isolated storms out there. There's one right now in portions of Pulaski County, but really right now and towards Hancock County, these have all kind of congealed into one big storm just north of Milledgeville through Devereaux, Sparta, Lake Oconee. About to get some of these storms, but really not going to be having any widespread rain for tonight. Tomorrow, though, we could have 1 or 2 storms pack some damaging gusty winds or even some small hail, but not everyone will see the rain or even the severe weather, but it'll be a good idea to keep your eye to the sky. Tonight for the Friday football forecast, things are looking pretty good, mostly sunny, 85 degrees at kickoff. Temperatures are cooling back down into the 70s, a comfortable 75 degrees by the final play. Now, Hurricane Lee right now is a high-end Category 4 storm. Right now with winds of 150 miles per hour. I'll break down where this historic storm could be heading coming up in your full forecast.
Now's a great time to download the WGXA weather app. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download it straight to your smartphone. Ryan is back in less than 20 minutes with your 10-day forecast. In a crowded field of politicians all aiming for the White House, it can be a challenge to stand out. But one Republican candidate has found a way to steal that spotlight, at least for the moment, and we're talking about Vivek Ramaswamy.
Our chief political correspondent, Scott Thuman, spent time with the party's youngest major candidate to ever run for president in the first of our campaign conversations.
Thank you.
Walk even a few feet with Vivek Ramaswamy through these New Hampshire fairgrounds, and you're struck by how much has changed in just a matter of months.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
People are responding like wildfire to it, and I think it's really lifting us up.
You said wildfire.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, frankly, I mean, we've gone from not 0%, but 0.0% in the polls in March to second place in many national polls now. And I think that that's still with many people in this country not yet really knowing who I am.
I get a picture with you?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Now he's attracting crowds seeking selfies and loaded with questions about where this multimillionaire entrepreneur and author stands on the issues.
What does it mean to be American? It means we believe in the ideals of the American Revolution.
Aboard his campaign bus, questions about his abundance of ambition.
You've never held any public office.
That's right.
What makes you think you deserve to have the highest job in the land? Why not run for a senator?
Different skill set required for that. I mean, I think that being a U.S. senator requires getting into the sausage making of partisan politics. What I think we require in the U.S. presidency right now is someone who has an independent vision and somewhat of a disregard for the norms of Washington, D.C.
You tweeted out that clip of yourself, if you recall, 20 years ago, asking Al Sharpton.
Of all the Democratic candidates out there, why should I vote for the one with the least political experience?
Doesn't that feel a little hypocritical now?
Well, 20 years later, you know what? I've changed my mind on a lot of things. Turns out I don't believe everything I did at the age of 18.
You said that former President Trump's the greatest president of this century. So why should people vote for you when you've said this guy's number one?
So far. However, we have to aspire to more. I think I'm single-handedly best equipped to reunite this country.
The 38-year-old who made a fortune in the biotech industry wants to make an even bigger mark in Washington with radical proposals like disbanding the FBI, IRS, and Department of Education. He's been attacked for his plans to let Russia retain some captured parts of Ukraine, hesitation to call Putin a war criminal, and his idea of eventually scaling back support to Taiwan against China.
You've heard people say amateur hour. You heard Nikki Haley say no foreign policy, and it shows. How do you dispel that?
So if somebody's crashing your car for the last 25 years, maybe you don't want to turn over your keys to the same people to drive it again. I think I have the clearest path to avoid World War III while still asserting American interests.
The brash policy stances with an equally bold personality.
Snap back to reality.
We've seen you rapping, we've seen you playing tennis shirtless. You a bit of an attention hound?
I'm a bit of an energy person who likes to work out. It's our job to let the people of this country know who we are and what we stand for.
All right, lightning round, you ready?
Okay.
Finish the wall or don't.
Finish it.
Yes or no to an assault weapons ban?
No.
Abortion, what should be the national standard on limits?
I am pro-life. I am also pro-10th Amendment. This is a state's issue.
Term limits for members of Congress?
Yes.
Is President Biden too old?
His ideas are too old.
Should transgender athletes be able to compete against people of a different birth gender?
Men should not be competing against women in women's sports competitions, period.
Are you binge watching anything right now?
No.
Last one. Eminem asked you to stop using his song. Is your rapping career over?
Oh no, we might just be getting warmed up. Good seeing you.
Google will require all political advertisements to label the use of artificial intelligence tools. AI is already being used to create deep fakes like these realistic but fake images posted on Twitter. Digital strategists are using AI to alter images and videos in 2024 ads. A PAC supporting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis used an AI-generated version of Donald Trump's voice in a YouTube video over the summer. This may sound like Trump, but it's not.
I opened up the governor position for Kim Reynolds, in which she fell behind. I endorsed her, did big rallies, and she won. Now she wants to remain neutral. I don't invite her to events.
Google's disclosure requirement marks an effort to cut down on realistic but fake content that could fool voters. For many, moving to the suburbs to rent has been a more affordable option, but new research seems to indicate a different trend. Didi Gatton joins us now to explain.
Working from home has eliminated the need for many to be close to the office in the city. Some are now widening their housing search to the suburbs. According to research from Apartment List, between March 2020 and July 2022, suburban rents increased 27% compared to 20% in core cities. Within a metropolitan area, they define the core city as the single largest city by population. The National Desk has talked to viewers about how competitive it has been to find a place and the search for roommates.
I could theoretically go up to around $800.
More people do not have to commute every single day. People are saying, well, I can look to live and work from home out in the suburbs versus the downtown areas. We may actually be just at the beginning stage of this new trend.
With that, National Association of Realtors Chief Economist Dr. Lawrence Yoon says it could be a struggle for some of the shops downtown with fewer people living and visiting. Reporting for the National Desk, I'm Didi Gatton.
Half of Americans with access to a 401k savings account don't contribute anything at all. That's according to a new CNBC survey, which shows about 41% are in this camp compared with about 57% who are contributing. Those in this group have full or part-time jobs, and they're part of a larger survey showing 74% of Americans feeling financially stressed, up from 70% in April.
It is finally Friday, and looking out over the weekend, tomorrow is going to be the more active of the 2 days. We will have some scattered thunderstorms around, but not everyone gets hit. But it is a good idea to stay weather, whereas one or two of them could pack some gusty, damaging winds or even some small hail. High temperature only up to 89 degrees on Sunday. We still could have a stray storm or two out there, but most of us will be staying dry with a mix of sun and clouds. A high up to 88 degrees. Temperature-wise right now, we do have some areas in the low 90s, 92 in Forsyth, 90 in Warner Robins, 88 degrees right now in Eastman, and 86 degrees over in Dublin. But tomorrow, we'll have temperatures generally about the same. It's going to be more about the rain. So let's go live on our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network, looking out over Mercer University on this pretty seasonable September day. Temperature currently 91 degrees. A good amount of sunshine, a few fair weather cumulus clouds, and some players actually out there on the field getting ready and practicing for the game. Satellite and radar showing that there is some severe weather that's stretching across Maine all the way down through Virginia with a stalled out front that is just over top of us as well, but really not giving us a lot of rain. We do have a few isolated storms out there, but for the most part, we should be staying dry tonight. Comfortable evening, mostly clear, down to 66 degrees for any of your Friday evening plans or for some of the football games. Tomorrow, we will have some storms out on the radar, but it's going to be very hit or miss. 4 o'clock, 1 or 2 storms out there by around 6 o'clock. We get some storms firing up generally west of Macon, but even through the evening hours around 9, there still could be 1 or 2 storms out there, and they could pack some damaging winds or some small hail, but not everyone will be seeing the rain. Now check out the satellite loop of Hurricane Lee over the past few days. It went from a Category 1 storm, winds of 80 miles per hour, to a Category 5 storm in 24 hours. It made an 80 mile per hour jump in just that window, and only a handful of storms in the Atlantic have done that, making the storm pretty historic. Still has winds of 150 miles per hour. It encountered a little bit of shear, so it's a high-end Category 4 storm right now. This is going to head west-northwestward before taking a turn to the north before really coming in contact with the southeastern coast. The biggest impact for this likely going to be the waves, especially along the eastern seaboards that could have some potentially rough, dangerous surf or even some dangerous rip currents as well out along the coast. That'll really be the biggest impact for us, but could be keeping an eye on it for next weekend up through New England or even the Canadian Maritime, but it's still really too early to tell exactly where it will go. So in your 10-day forecast for tomorrow, a few scattered thunderstorms around up to about 89 degrees. Sunday, less active, but there still will be a stray shower or storm around up to 88 degrees, mixture of sun and clouds. Next Monday looking pretty nice, mostly sunny, up to 90 degrees. Tuesday, a few afternoon clouds up to 91 degrees. Wednesday, we begin a little bit of a cool down, 88 degrees, mostly dry. Thursday, a front pushes through, a few isolated storms, 86. And Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 86. The next 5 days, or the next 7 days, only 5 of them will be in the 80s. Lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast. Peaks at 10:20 a.m. and 11:20 p.m. Guys, back to you.
It's that time, Central Georgia, to celebrate a Middle Georgia athlete who's getting it done in the classroom, outside of sports, and making a difference in community.
That's right. This week, Carlos Stevens introduces us to a Southwest football athlete.
That's Southwest senior wide receiver Carmelo Mays, and his running goes outside the football field, making him a game changer. But you may be wondering what volunteer work he does that makes him a game changer. Carmelo volunteers time helping his grandmother pick up trash and cutting grass around the community. Mays says his only desire is to stay on the right path.
People my age or even younger, dying. So, and that's scary for their mothers and their family.
It's a scarce Mays doesn't want for his family, and Mays says the feeling is mutual from his family, seeing how they motivate him.
I'm getting older. I'm about bigger than the family, so they like, oh my God, he growing up, I'm mature.
But his family isn't the only ones he's thanking.
Thank God also.
It's that thank you that keeps Mays also mentoring the youth at youth camps. Mays wide receiver coach Travis Fuller says he's thankful to see other young men like Carmelo Mays taking on the responsibility to help those behind him.
These kids are being swallowed up entirely too fast. And I'm glad that I have a kid like him that loves kids, that reach back to kids, to let them know that they don't have to go that. The streets are absolutely the wrong route. He knows that, and I'm proud of him for knowing that.
There's something else Mays knows too.
I got little cousins that looking up to me.
Mays says his eyes are already set on attending college.
Georgia Southern, head Southern.
Mays says as he continues a successful senior year, he can't help but thank a number of people.
My mother, my brothers, and my little sister. I love my grandma. I thank God for her. I love you, grandma.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm here again today at the Humane Society of Houston County. You can hear there's a lot of happy dogs around here. I'm joined again today by Dee, and guess who we're going to tell you about right now?
This is Tim.
Tim.
Tim came in with 3 other siblings that have been adopted. He is a lab mix, and he is growing like...
He will give you a kiss.
But he's very smart. He's like an old soul in a young dog's body.
Yeah. And he's about, how old did you say?
He's 5 months old.
5 months old, lab, and a male. Name is Tim. And if someone would like to adopt him, look how calm and how sweet he is.
You would go on our website and fill out our application. Please allow 7 to 10 business days to process that.
All right, that's Tim. That's the Humane Society of Houston County. Go ahead and go online, request Tim, and let's find him a really good home today. Thank you so much, Dee.
Thank you.
And some exciting news from the Macon Amphitheater as progress on the build continues.
That's right. This morning, the venue made their first concert announcement. Country music star Riley Green is the first announced to be playing in the Macon Amphitheater.
It's a part of Green's Ain't My Last Rodeo tour with special guests Tracy Lawrence and Ella Langley. That concert will be next April the 4th at 7:30. Tickets start at $52 and go on sale at 10 a.m. next Friday, September 15th. How exciting! New venture here in Macon.
It really is.
I'm excited to see how it turns out, what it brings to Macon. Amphitheaters normally chill vibes. You get to sit out and just listen to some awesome music. So I think it's exciting.
Yeah. Me too. It'll be really cool to see, especially like in the summer, and to see what acts are going to come.
Me too. I'm excited about that.
I'm not going to sit outside in the sun.
Just wear your sunblock. You'll be okay.
Sunblock.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see who all will be coming because it'll be a big draw. So it's great. Good things to come. All right. Well, that's going to do it for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.